Make sure you get the heading at the top of the paper. And so today you're going to work on 1 through 10 all. And the purpose of this video is to help, since this is an extraordinarily odd section and also pretty language heavy, and that's what makes a lot of the math in this challenging. Pause this video as you go so that you give yourself time to catch up and write down things, because there's quite a lot of writing. There's quite a lot of writing in this. So I look to the page 42, and here's problems 1 through 10. So problems 1 through 3 have instructions. Identify. Now I think I'd be totally fine with ID as an abbreviation. The hypothesis and conclusion of each statement. So get those instructions written down. For problem 1, it says if it is April, then it might rain. So H colon, so I don't need you to write the word hypothesis out, but H colon, we do not write the word if. So whenever you looked at these in the notes or in the worksheet we did, it is April. And then on the next line, C colon, then it might rain. Again, we wouldn't write if, so in this we wouldn't write then. Of all the problems, those are for me the least crazy, so go ahead and get that written down. I'm going to move on to the next set of problems because 2 and 3 I'd like you to do on your own. Now, the lengthier instructions, I don't really need to see, so ID, hypothesis, conclusion. If you want to be brief there, you can abbreviate it. And then we'll have to write the if-then statement. And what is an if-then statement? Well, it has the word if, has the word then, so it has a hypothesis and then a conclusion. So for problem 4, I'll read through it. Colin watches television when he does not have homework. So we know we're going to need if. We know we're going to have then. But it's these blanks that we're a little bit unsure about. And the challenging part is also, writing the sentence and all that. But one way we could go is just the order that it's in. So let me see if I can change my font to red. That way I'll be saying, hey, don't write this down in case it's wrong. And then we'll check it and see if we agree at the end. So if Colin watches television, then he does not have homework. Well, maybe he could be watching TV when he does have homework. So let's try it the other way. Sorry, having some typing troubles here. So if Colin does not have homework, then he watches television. I don't think he's always doing that, and why would we flip this around? So instead, let's go with the way it was. So if Colin watches television, then he does not have homework. See how you do on the following ones. And like I said in class, I think you could probably make an argument and convince me that the other could be right, as long as it's not so crazy. So then we have tons of instructions per problems 7 through 9. So instead I'll just put determine, and make sure you pause the video, finish 5 and 6 before you move on to 7. Determine a valid conclusion. And then instead of that follows this if-then statement and all that kind of stuff, we'll just keep it as is. The statement they give us if the last digit of a number is 2, then this number is divisible by 2. And first of all, think about that. 2, 12, 22. I think it's pretty safe to say that if a number ends in 2, it is divisible by 2. I could even think about negatives, but usually we don't go in that direction. So if the last digit of a number is 2, then it's divisible by 2. So if they give us this number, does it end in 2? So therefore, can we conclude that it is divisible by 2? So when we go back here, for problem 7, I would say 10,452 is divisible by 2. We don't need an explanation because they're only asking for the no valid conclusion, but we could add one because we would say valid, it ends in 2. Finish 8 and 9. So here we got to find a counterexample. And what a counterexample is it breaks it. So if Anna is in school, then she has a science class. So we need to find a way to break this. Well, she might not always have a science class, but we'll get our instructions written. Find a counterexample. Anna could be in history class. She's not like she's always every single second of the day hanging out in science. So, hey, she could be in history class, and that's a counterexample to when she could be in school, but not be in a science class. And that would be a counterexample that broke this conditional if-then statement. Conditional meaning this is conditional on that. 1 through 10 is your assignment. Best of luck on those other ones. Again, these should feel difficult.